Hello and welcome to Tank and AFV News. My name's Tom and we are doing, surprise, a book review. This one is German Support Vehicles on the Battlefield World War II Photobook Series, Volume 22 by Pico Publishing. We've had a chance to look at some of these in the past. The Pico books all sort of follow the same format. They're these kind of landscape format, I guess you'd call it, hardcovers, all dealing usually with German or other Axis armor. So in the past we've looked at this one on the Sturmgeschütz and Panzer IV, and then of course they also do ones on different Hungarian armor, and the publisher is in Hungary as far as I can tell, and the book is in both Hungarian and English, or what I'm assuming is Hungarian, because I don't actually know Hungarian from, anything else. So what do we have here? Obviously, like I said, it's a hardcover. It is essentially a photo book. And this one is quite a variety because support vehicles is a pretty broad category, and particularly when you're talking about World War II Germany, because this is an army that was huge and did not have the sort of automotive industry backing it up that, say, the United States did. So they were constantly just using whatever they could find in the support vehicle role, including tons of different captured vehicles. So as this book, there's all sorts of things that I've never even seen before. Part of that is because I'm not an expert by any stretch on soft skin vehicles. I mean it's tank and AFV news, not tank and soft skin vehicle news. So some of this stuff I just don't know particularly well, but it's still very interesting to look at. So what do we have here? So you're going to acknowledgments, see both Hungarian and English. I'm not familiar with Tom Cockle, but he has quite a bit of notes here in the introduction, talking about some of the different attempts at the Germans to standardize on vehicles, not terribly successfully. Now, because of the form of the book, I can't fit both pages in the shot very well, so probably just sort of move stuff back and forth. Hopefully that doesn't get too annoying. As you can see, it is one photo per page, which means that you really can see the detail of the photos. Obviously, this is a much larger format than the original photos were. And this layout and the design of the book is very similar to the Panzer Rec series, if you're familiar with those. I sort of keep these next to my Panzer Rec books on the shelf. But you can see, we'll flip through here a little bit, some of the different soft skin trucks and cars. Again, I don't even know what some of these are off the top of my head, so I'm not going to try to give commentary other than just I'm going to have fun digging into this book a little more and learning some of this stuff. But it gives you an idea of just the variety. I mean, I think everybody knows the Kubelwagen, but just some of the variety of wheeled vehicles that the Germans were using. Here's one of the most successful of the German wheeled vehicles, the Volkswagen, the Schwimmenwagen. Here we have, looks pretty much like a civilian car. It's a staff car of some sort that belongs to, what it says here is a Panzerjäger unit. So here we have kind of what looks like some sort of field expedient armored truck. Another armored truck with anti-aircraft cannon there. So certainly lots of ideas if you are looking for a idea for a model that's off the beaten path. You want to do something different, but you still want something that's historically based. Like I said, there's some pretty interesting stuff in here that might be interesting. So here we have, looks like a truck that is running on the railroad tracks. Fair enough. And I'm not going to flip through every single picture, because if you want to see every single picture, go buy the book. Support the people who did the work to write and publish this. But here we have an Italian armored car pushed into German service, and some 232 eight-wheeled recon vehicles that had seen better days. Skip ahead here, but I think you get the idea of what to expect from this book. Definitely some interesting photos, certainly stuff I've never seen before. And here is a 37mm anti-tank gun thrown on top of a half track, sort of not the if you wanted to do a model of a rather unusual Panzerjäger, then there you go. Flip ahead a little bit here. It's an 88 being hauled by one of the larger half tracks. It looks like some, I'm assuming some sort of boat pontoon type things. That looks like a French half track. I can tell that right away. And it's another French half track. And of course, everybody likes the Kettenkrad, the tracked motorcycle. And skip ahead a little bit here, make sure I'm not skipping anything particularly interesting. So definitely some odd and unusual things in here. And one thing I liked in the back toward the rear here, they have some examples of captured tanks turn into prime movers. So here they're using a BT-7, the Germans, to haul an anti-tank gun. You know, because it's one of those things people always wonder is, you know, why didn't the Germans use more of the vehicles that they captured in 1941? Because, of course, Soviet armored vehicle losses were quite extensive in that period. And part of it is just the Germans didn't have the resources to get a lot of those. I mean, their maintenance and repair capabilities were being stretched to the limit just for their own vehicles, let alone trying to fix all these Soviet vehicles they captured that they didn't have parts for. But obviously, some of them obviously were in running condition, and so they used them. So here we can see a Soviet artillery tractor with, obviously you can see he's got plenty of of German markings on it. I guess he doesn't want to be a friendly fire victim. Here we have an English early war light tank in German service being used as a hauler. You know, here's a T-26 Soviet hull being used as a prime mover. So definitely some interesting photos in here of vehicles that we don't think about as much, the support vehicles. Certainly not as glamorous as some of the other books covered in the series, as you can see here, where they're focusing on things like, you know, the Panzer IV, Panzer III, the Su-85. So mostly, like I said, Eastern Front stuff. But for those that have, you know, sort of gotten tired of looking at pictures of, oh, another book on, you know, German Panther tanks or whatever on the Eastern Front. Not that there's anything wrong with that, those are great, but sometimes you want to find stuff that's a little more unusual, and this one will have that for you. German support vehicles on the battlefield from Pico. I don't have a price on this one, but I'm sure you can find it at some of your favorite online book vendors or have them order it at your favorite local bookstore. Alright, well thank you. Thanks to the fine folks at Casemate for letting me have a chance to look at this book, and we will catch you on the next one.